Hi, I'm Dr. Jerry Teplitz, and I want to thank you for clicking on the link to watch my video demo, because I know picking the right speaker is going to be crucial for the success of your meeting. Now, most speakers, you're going to be watching their videos. What you're going to be seeing are small clips of them speaking. I wanted to share with you personally why this is going to be so very different from what you're going to be seeing in the other videos, because this is going to be the first 17 minutes of a live seminar that I did. And what you're going to be seeing is a level of audience participation. You'll be seeing me actually bringing volunteers on stage. You'll see the audience stand up to work with each other. As a matter of fact, when you see that part towards the end of the 17 minutes, please stand up and participate as if you're in the audience. After you watch the video, I want you to also be able to know that there are other programs that I do, and that's information that's in the packet that you have attached to this file. Finally, sit back, relax, and enjoy my presentation.
Get ready to be amazed by Dr. Jerry Teplitz.
How many of you have ever had a negative day as a leader? Raise your hands. Great. How did you feel at the end of that negative day? Anybody? What did you say? Crappy? Cool. Drained, tired, exhausted. Would I agree that those are good descriptive terms? Now, how many of you have ever had a day as a leader that was very positive, one that just clicked? Raise your hands. For some of you in the back over there, let me rephrase this. How many of you had a moment as a leader that was positive? Now, on the positive day, how'd you feel at the end of that one? Anybody? Good, energized. Would I agree that those are also good descriptive terms? See, it's very real. Negative disaster days, you're physically, you're mentally, you're emotionally, you're drained and exhausted. Positive days, you're energized. What if, as a leader, you could create every day to be a positive day for yourself? Let's not push it that far. What about last 4 hours? Last 4 hours on a disaster day, how effective are you as a leader? Communicating with others, getting things done, accomplishing what you'd like to see happen. What's the answer? It's not a pretty sight out there. What about last 4 hours on a very positive day? Doesn't all of that switch because you have the energy to bring to the experience? This session this afternoon is going to be about your personal energy system, how it operates, and what can you do to make at least the last 4 hours of every day be very positive. The way I'm going to go about that is by sharing with you a technology that's called BK, Behavioral Kinesiology. What kinesiology is muscle checking of the body. Everything around us affects us. Its effect is very direct, very immediate, and very dramatic. What you're going to see me be doing in a moment up here, it's going to look like a magic act taking place. It's totally real. I'll be explaining in a few minutes what's actually taking place. Now, to assist me in this part of the program, I need 3 of you to come up as volunteers. I need 2 of the men and 1 of the women. So pick yourselves. First 3 up win. So in terms of what I'm going to be sharing once we get our volunteers up here, looking like a trick, but actually being completely real, I want to show you this slide here to represent how what we normally perceive, how different it can be, but still be completely real. So on this slide here, how many smokestacks do you see up there? Anybody? 3. How many you see at the bottom? Anybody? 4. This artist is actually able to create on paper 3 at the top and 4 at the bottom. How'd you like to have your office in that building? Well, you start with 4, you get to 3. I don't know how you do, but we got a great view of what's going on outside. On paper, this does exist. What you're going to see me do in a moment, look to as if it's 3 at the top, 4 at the bottom. Your response is going to be, this is impossible, can't be, It's as real as that slide. Let me find out who my volunteers are up here. Your name is?
Brad Glenn with Walter Toby.
Brad and?
Rochelle Jones with Bigfoot Construction.
And Rochelle?
Tim Foss, Ace Cutting.
And Jim. So Brad, Rochelle, and Tim. Okay? So what you three are going to do is one at a time, you're going to be stepping in front of me, facing them. You're going to be sticking your strongest arm out with your thumb turned downward. I'm going to be pressing down. You're pushing up when I say resist. Brad, let's start with you. So facing them in front of me, strongest arm out, thumb turned downward. You're pushing up, I'm pushing down. Ready, resist. Okay, put your arm down. Now, Brad, you felt that as a hard pressure, correct?
Yes.
Great. Now, by the way, that's as hard as the lines get this afternoon, Brad. Now, how many of you have heard of acupuncture? Raise your hands. Everybody. How many of you are familiar with the acupuncture meridian line concept? The meridian lines, raise your hands. A couple of folks. For those who are not, when an acupuncturist takes a needle and puts it into a person's body, we're not doing that today, Brad. When they do that, what they're attempting to do is stimulate an energy line that runs through the body that is called a meridian line. I want to demonstrate that these energy lines or meridian lines exist. It's going to look like a trick. It's not. I'll explain in a few minutes what happened. All I'm going to do on Brad, I'm going to take my fingers by his eye. I'm going to run straight down the same side of his body to the foot once. I'm not even touching the body. Eye to the foot, all the way down once, not touching. Arm out, thumb down, Brad. You're pushing up, I'm pushing down. Ready, resist. Come on, guy. Ready, resist. Come on, Brad. Ready, resist.
You make me look bad, man.
Yeah. I don't want to leave him this way. Put him back. Arm out, thumb down. Ready, resist. And Brad, you felt that as the same degree of hard pressure as the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll explain in a minute what's happening. You can be seated. Rochelle, come on up. Okay, Rochelle, facing them, strongest arm out, thumb turned downward. You're pushing up, I'm pushing down. Ready, resist. God, you're stronger than Brad. Just kidding, guy. I wasn't, but okay. Now, Rochelle, you felt that as a hard pressure?
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to do, Rochelle, I'm going to take my fingers by her arm. I'm going to run right across to the belly button once, not even touch the body. Arm to the belly button once across, not touching. Arm out, thumb down. You're pushing up, I'm pushing down. Ready, resist. Come on, Rochelle. Ready, resist. Now, I don't want to leave her. Well, maybe we do. How many want me to leave her this way? Now, seeing no hands, we'll put her back. When we put this one back with a massage, actually touching the body, massaging from by the arm across the belly button. Arm out, thumb down. Ready, resist. And Rochelle, you felt that as the same degree of hard pressure as the first time, correct?
Yes.
Okay, again, I'll explain in a minute what's happening. You can be seated. Tim, come on up. Facing forward, strongest arm out, thumb turned downward. Ready, resist. Okay, put your arm down. Now, Tim, you felt that as a hard pressure. What I want to demonstrate now is the power of the mind, the power of positive thinking. How many of you, bottom line, really, really believe in the power of positive thinking? Raise your hands. Super. I want to show you it absolutely does exist. The kinds of thoughts that you have a very direct, a very immediate effect on your entire energy system. Now, Tim, are you in a leadership position in your company?
Sure.
Sure. So what I want you to do is I want you to pick a leadership situation that was negative or a day that was negative as a leader. Have you had any of those ever happen?
No.
Never. Okay. Can I get a different volunteer? No, I'm sure you have. So pick a situation that was negative as a leader. Close your eyes. When you have it visualized, shake your head. I'm going to muscle check your arm again. Okay. So arm out. Close your eyes. Shake it when you have it, and I'll check you. Ready, resist. You're right. It was a disaster on that day. Now, have you ever had a day as a leader that was very positive, one that just clicked?
Sure.
Okay, pick one of those. Arm out, close your eyes, shake and have that, and I'll check you again. Ready, resist. Now, this time what I want you to do, Tim, I want you to go back to that same negative thought. And what I want you to do is I want you to switch it in your mind and view it positively. Find something about it to view positively, even if it's just, thank God, I'm glad it's over with. Close your eyes, shake and have it switched, and I'll check you. Ready, resist. Okay, you can be seated. Let me explain what's been happening up here so far. On Brad, I ran from his eye to the foot without even touching the body, and I weakened what's known as the stomach acupuncture meridian line. His arm went down. I ran from the foot back to the eye, re-strengthened the stomach meridian line. His arm stayed up. On Rochelle, I ran from by the arm across the belly button without touching the body, and I weakened the spleen meridian line, and her arm came down. I did the massage across there, and I strengthened it, and her arm stayed up. And then on Tim, you saw the power of positive thinking. When you walk around thinking a negative thought, guess who you're affecting? Yourself. You wind up thinking negative thoughts all day long. That's what you do to your energy system all day long. And if you know people are negative all the time, don't be surprised if they get physically ill quite frequently. What they're doing to their entire energy system, they leave it in a very weakened, very susceptible state. Literally in walks an illness. There's actually medical research documenting that, where we found the immunological system of the body is affected by our thoughts. Negative thoughts suppress white corpuscle counts, and the chemicals protect us from disease and illness. Positive thoughts do the exact opposite, increase white corpuscle counts and increase the chemicals protect us from disease and illness. There's even research done that has looked at optimists versus pessimists. They followed a class of Harvard graduates for their entire lifespan, and they found that the people who lived longer, enjoyed the life the most, stayed healthiest, were the optimists versus the pessimists. They found that optimists have 3 times less hypertension than pessimists, and the most positive optimist has the lowest level of blood pressure. They found optimists had 50% less cardiovascular disease than pessimists, and they found that if they needed to go in for bypass surgery, optimists were 50% less likely to have to go back into the hospital a second time. Now, you are managers in your companies, you're leaders in your company. You, in effect, are the top of the triangle. The people that you manage are everybody else under you in that triangle. If you view your job negatively, that's the message you send down to everybody in that triangle. You've experienced that for yourselves because you're actually creating stress for you and for them. You're reducing productivity, creativity, and effectiveness. And you've experienced it for yourselves. How many of you have ever worked around somebody else who was negative all day long? Raise your hand if you've ever had that experience. How did you feel at the end of the day working around that negative person? Anybody? You were tired and drained and exhausted yourself. And how many of you have ever worked around somebody else who's very positive all day long? Raise your hands. And how'd you feel at the end of that day? Isn't the answer up? So not only is this an energy affecting you, it goes right out from you and affects the people around you. And as a manager, when you're viewing your job positively, completely different message goes down. Now, the last thing that Tim did is he changed his mind. He took that same negative situation, changed his viewpoint of it, and changed its impact on himself. We have the power to choose every moment of the day our responses. We can choose to view things negatively. What I'm also suggesting, we can choose to view them positively, and we can make that decision as instantly as Tim did up here. Now, I recognize at this point that you may be saying what I'm doing up here is a trick, that what I really must be doing is pressing harder one time versus another, just a physical pressure difference, and that's it. Is that running through anybody's mind that it's just a pressure difference? Raise your hand if that's what you really think it is. Okay, a bunch of hands. Sir, would you come on up? Yeah, the guy who just turned around to look at the people behind you. And you need to come up quickly, sir. Quickly, quickly. Because while he's coming up, there's another question that comes up for people that it's psychological. What I just did is the power of suggestion. Somehow I'm giving them all cues and suggestion what they should be doing up here. So while that gentleman comes up here, let me get rid of the psychological part. So Brad, come on up. So Brad, to get rid of the psychological part, what you're going to do in a moment, you'll have your eyes closed. So you will have no idea which way I'm going, but all you folks will. Now remember, the eye to the foot weakens the stomach meridian line, the foot to the eye strengthens it. You'll know which way I'm going, but Brad won't. You can think of this as unzipping and re-zipping. And don't worry, guy, you're not my type. And for those people who are saying, it's got to be the hand on the shoulder that I'm somehow manipulating something, I'm doing the Vulcan death grip, I won't even put my hand there. So Brad, would you agree all this is taking suggestion out of the picture for you?
Sure.
Okay, so arm out, thumb down, Brad. Close your eyes and keep them closed. Ready, resist. Keep them closed, Brad. Ready, resist. Keep them closed. Ready, resist. And it's okay, guy, I just put you back. Thank you, Brad. You can be seated. So I ran up twice, down the third time. That's when Brad's arm came down. It's not psychological. It's what's actually taking place within a person's energy system. Now, this gentleman here, come on over here, sir, thought it was physical, that I'm pressing harder one time versus another. And your name is? Kirk. Kirk. So there's actually been a device that's been developed so we can measure this pressure difference. What it is, it's a scale that's upside down. We'll put a pressure at the bottom here. We'll get a readout up here in kilograms of weight. Kirk, what's this reading?
0.
It's reading 0. So Kirk, I'm going to be pressing really hard on your arm. You don't have any shoulder problems, do you?
No.
So I'm going to press really hard on your arm all the way down to there. Fight me the entire way down. Okay, so strongest arm out, thumb turned downward. Really fight me now. Ready, resist. Shoo. What are we reading, Kirk?
11.2.
So it took 11.2 kilograms of my pressure fighting through his resistance to force his arm all the way down. I'm going to reset it now. Kirk, what are we reading?
0.
0. Just going to run from the arm to the belly button once across, not even touching his body. Arm out, thumb down. Kirk, really fight me again. Ready, resist. What are we reading, Kirk?
3.9.
Say it loud into the mic here.
3.9.
3.9. Thank you, Kirk, for being a volunteer, and I put you back. So you saw that it was not psychological. It's what's actually taking place within a person's energy system. And it's not physical. It's what's actually happening within your system. Now, I want to give you all an experience with this. I don't want you leaving here thinking that I'm doing a trick. So what I'm going to do in a moment is have you stand up and face a partner, and I'm going to take you through this with your partner on each other so you can self-validate this for yourself. So stand up, face a partner, and wait for me. I'll take you through it on each other. Stand up, face a partner, and wait for me. Partner being checked first. What they're going to be doing in a moment is they're going to be sticking their strongest arm out with their thumb turned downward, and all you're attempting to do is to just measure their level of resistance. You're not attempting to whack their arm all the way down. If you did, that means you push through the ability to resist anything at all. This is a measurement. It's not just brute force. Folks, anywhere from here down to here is fine. If you physically push the arm further than a couple of inches down, that means you did it too hard. Do it again, immediately staying within this first couple of inches. It's also not a pumping action. You're not attempting to get them to spew forth water. So you're facing each other. It's easier to do it that way. Partner being checked first will now stick their strongest arm out, thumb turned downward. Partner doing the checking, keep your face neutral, no smile, no frown. Now place one hand on their opposite shoulder. That's just for support. It keeps them level. The other hand right by the wrist bone, right by the wrist bone. Now they're pushing up, you're pushing down. Say ready, resist. Steady pressure, not a pump. Now, take your fingers, start by your partner's eye. Run straight down the same side of their body to the foot once. Don't even touch it. All the way down once, not even touching. Arm out, thumb down, hand on the shoulder, other by the wrist. Tell them to resist and push down. Surprise! Put them back. Put them back. Foot back to the eye. Foot back to the eye. Arm out, thumb down, hand on the shoulder, other by the wrist. Check them and make sure they're back. Check them, make sure they're back. Now, same partner, Same partner, we're going to do the power of positive thinking on the same partner again. Same partner, arm out, thumb down, hand on the shoulder, other by the wrist, have them close their eyes. Think of something sad or somebody that they don't like. Have them shake their head when they have that negative thought focus, then tell them to resist and push down. Negative thought. Now a very positive thought. Have them close their eyes, shake them with a very positive one, focus and check them. Very positive. And be seated after you've done all of that checking.
Amazing what we learned. Jerry, just as a really special compliment, I actually heard someone saying, it was at my table, it was not prompted, this was worth the cost of the whole seminar. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This program can help you and anyone you care about live up to your full energy potential and become a peak performer in every area of your life.